That's the first time we've ever had a conversation using this system.
Welcome to WatchMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for 30 mind-blowing breakthroughs that reshaped science in the past decade.
Pretty impressive when you look at them once you realize you're looking back 40,000 years in time.
Number 30, the oldest black hole. The James Webb Space Telescope is one of the most advanced tools ever devised to study the history of the universe.
This is going to be the next big thing for astrophysics. We are going to rewrite the textbooks.
In 2024, it spotted GNZ11, one of the farthest and oldest known galaxies, born around 400 million years after the Big Bang. Located 13.4 billion light-years from Earth, GNZ11 also contains the oldest known black hole to exist in the observable universe. The black hole at the galactic center is unfathomably gigantic. Its size suggests a level of growth that is forcing scientists to reconsider what we know about black holes, space, and time. GNZ11 and its supermassive black hole offer us a glimpse into the earliest days of the universe.
There were literally thousands of galaxies in an area of the sky that up until that particular image, we didn't even know anything existed.
Number 29, discovering the cause of lupus.
In test tubes and in mice with kidney inflammation, the effects were profound.
It stopped the progression of the lupus kidney disease without the need for toxic immunosuppressant drugs.
A recent study published in Nature has identified not only a cause of lupus, but a potential way to reverse it. Lupus is an autoimmune disease wherein the body attacks its own healthy tissues and organs. It can lead to severe inflammation or permanent tissue damage, and is incredibly difficult to diagnose.
If someone hears the word lupus, they often think the worst. But in fact, many people with lupus are living with it as a hidden disability and are functioning quite well or very productive.
Now, researchers have learned that lupus patients have an imbalance in T cells. They have too many that harm healthy cells and too few that aid repair. The imbalance is triggered by an excess of interferon, which can block other important proteins in the body. The study found that interferon-inhibiting medication fixes the imbalance. Lupus patients the world over now have hope that their diseases can be both treated and possibly reversed.
In the lab, Dr. Jay Choi and his colleagues added a special mediator to the blood, a molecule deficient in patients that successfully impacted just the lupus-causing immune response.
Number 28, a weight loss drug revolution.
When the food goes through your intestines, those cells in the intestine makes these hormones, and the hormones go to the brain and say you're full.
A new class of weight loss drugs has shattered our understanding of obesity treatment and weight management. In the last few years, medications like semaglutide and tirzepatide have flooded both TikTok and the marketplace. They work by mimicking a hormone that reduces appetite and slows stomach emptying. Combined, these factors lead to significant sustained weight loss without surgery.
It's really amazing to see it when it works, and people will say that it's the first time they've felt normal or it's the first time they felt full.
Wow.
Beyond weight loss, these drugs spotlight the biological roots of obesity, challenging the long-standing view that it's solely a lifestyle issue. Their success is driving further research into metabolic and appetite regulation. That research could lead to new treatments for related conditions like diabetes and heart disease. Culturally, these drugs could reduce obesity stigma and promote more compassionate, science-backed approaches to weight management.
It tells the body that you've just eaten, although that's not actually true. The body does not take any action in response to the resulting weight loss.
Number 27, a cure for sickle cell?
Our approach is targeted. We're actually going specifically to the location in the genome where the sickle mutation is located and correcting it.
Recent breakthroughs in genetic modification are offering hope for treating sickle cell anemia. Using advanced techniques like CRISPR, scientists can now precisely target and edit the gene responsible for sickling red blood cells. In trials, researchers have modified patient stem cells. Afterwards, these patients produce healthy, round red blood cells.
A technology called CRISPR, it's very precise, it's like a scissor. It can go, and specifically the area of the genes that make the hemoglobin F, it goes and change it to a new DNA that we insert.
Early Early results show patients experiencing fewer pain crises and even living symptom-free for extended periods. This approach represents a potential one-time cure. This would be life-altering for patients suffering through painful or expensive ongoing treatments. As gene editing technology advances, it could lead to safer, more accessible therapies for other genetic diseases.
Once they get in with us, they get through the process, they get the gene therapy, and then they start feeling better.
Number 26, mind-reading technology for patients who are paralyzed.
Not only can we accurately decode the words that he's reading prompted off of a screen, but we can also accurately predict what he's trying to say in free-form conversation.
In 2023, a study was published in Nature Neuroscience that read like something out of a science fiction novel. Scientists were able to partially decode thoughts from brain scans, utilizing AI to translate brain activity into language. This technology offers new hope for those with locked-in syndrome. These individuals are nearly completely paralyzed, unable to speak or write.
I really just want to emphasize that for this work, it has to be controlled by the person's attempts to speak. Well, first of all, there's no evidence that decoding internal thoughts is possible with the current technology.
In trials, volunteers listened to podcasts while lying in a brain scanner. The AI then learned to link brain scan patterns with the words they heard. While not a perfect translation, the AI was shockingly accurate. As these tools are refined, they could possibly one day restore vital communication abilities to those unable to move or speak.
What we're picking up on are neural activity related directly to the attempts to move her facial muscles, and that's what we're able to decode into speech.
Number 25, water and calcium batteries. Recent advancements in battery technology could change the world. Unlike traditional lithium-ion batteries, water-based and calcium-ion batteries use safer, non-flammable materials. They reduce the risks of overheating and environmental impact. Researchers have found that aqueous batteries, which use water as an electrolyte, offer strong potential for energy storage without toxic chemicals. Calcium batteries, in turn, could become a more affordable and abundant alternative to lithium. Calcium is the 5th most abundant element, making it cheaper and easier to source. Energy needs are only going to increase. The demand for safer, eco-friendly batteries grows every day, especially with the expansion of renewable energy and electric vehicles. If perfected, water and calcium batteries could help meet global energy needs sustainably.
Scientists all over the world are in a race to make you better, to make you powerful, to make you cleaner, to make you cheaper, to make you into a super battery.
Number 24, advancements in fusion energy.
Last month, the laser shot fired from this control room put 2 units of energy into the experiment, atoms began fusing, and about 3 units of energy came out.
Humanity might be on the verge of replicating the sun's power on Earth. Fusion energy occurs when atomic nuclei combine at extremely high temperatures. This reaction releases enormous energy without harmful emissions or long-lived radioactive waste. In other words, endless clean energy. In 2022, researchers at the National Ignition Facility achieved a breakthrough. They achieved net energy gain, producing more energy than was used to trigger the reaction.
Now, what they achieved, it's called fusion ignition, and it's referred to as the holy grail of clean energy. Scientists have been chasing it for decades.
This milestone is crucial in proving that artificial fusion is possible. Challenges remain. Sustaining stable reactions and managing extreme temperatures over long periods require new materials and technologies. Recent setbacks highlight the need for continued investment and innovation to overcome the obstacles to fusion power.
Each one of these lasers is one of the most energetic in the world, and you have 192 of them.
That's pretty cool, right?
Well, pretty hot, actually.
Number 23, reef restoration.
We've lost 25 to 40% of the world's corals in just our lifetime. If we keep up this way and don't do anything about it, we may lose the other half of it just within the next 100 years.
Coral reefs are vital to Earth's survival. They support a quarter of all marine life, protect coastlines from erosion, and sustain fishing. They are also currently under existential threat. Rising ocean temperatures cause coral bleaching, where corals expel the algae essential for their health. Pollution and unsustainable fishing practices also damage coral structures. Restoration efforts are thankfully beginning to spread. Some efforts involve planting coral fragments on damaged reefs. This technique has seen solid results in Australia's Great Barrier Reef, where scientists transplant heat-resistant corals.
So here scientists wonder,
if you might be able to produce a new kind of coral that proves more successful in the changing waters of the reef.
Hawaii's Super Coral Initiative does the same. In the Caribbean, Coral Restoration Foundation grows coral in nurseries, replanting them to rebuild reef systems. Their restoration is crucial for biodiversity, food security, and combating climate change impacts.
We really walk the walk, and the second is that scale at which we're trying to work at. We are working at an unprecedented scale. It's unmatched by any other group as well.
Number 22, the Big Ring. The discovery of the Big Ring has reshaped our understanding of the universe's scale and structure. Spanning 1.3 billion light-years, the Big Ring is a tremendous ring-shaped structure composed of galaxies and galaxy clusters. This loop is much larger than any previously discovered cosmic structures.
The method uses these really bright sources of light known as quasars, and then when we measure the light from these quasars, it can tell us about things that are in between the quasar and us.
For decades, astrophysicists have abided by the cosmological principle. The universe is essentially homogeneous in all directions. Structures this vast shouldn't be possible. The Big Ring shatters that assumption. The universe appears to contain patterns far more complex than previously thought. This finding invites scientists to rethink cosmic evolution. There may be completely unknown forces or processes shaping the universe in ways we can't yet comprehend.
So when we find these large-scale structures, these huge large-scale structures like the Big Ring or the giant arc, these are so big that we're now not seeing this statistical homogeneity. We're not seeing this smoothness in the universe.
Number 21, microorganisms capturing carbon.
We're harnessing algae's ability to grow very fast and perform photosynthesis in order to take the carbon dioxide in flue gas and turn it into biomass.
Capturing carbon from the atmosphere is a vital part of combating climate change. Microbiologists have jumped into the fight, engineering bacteria and microalgae that consume greenhouse gases. These microorganisms can capture CO2 and convert it into high-value products like fuels, fertilizers, and animal feed. Depending on the system, either sunlight or chemical energy is used to power this transformation.
We're actually starting to see real-life solutions to some of the most pressing issues of the day. So climate change and the way in which we need to try and mitigate against that, but also get more sustainable ways in which we can feed humans and a growing population is really fantastic in terms of what's coming out of this project.
There are two main microbial systems: photobioreactors, which use sunlight, and chemical reactors, which use energy from sources like hydrogen or organic waste. There are still significant hurdles to overcome before this technology can save the world. Cooling systems are needed to handle hot exhaust gases, adding to high production costs. With further development, microbial carbon capture could play a vital role in achieving net zero emissions.
So for us, it's really important that the farms are free-floating, that they're modular, and that they're infinitely scalable. And so we're out here at the moment trying to ascertain whether we can achieve those things.
Number 20, the first image of a black hole. Space inspires creatives and scientists alike. But of the many strange and wondrous things that make up the universe, black holes are without a doubt among the most captivating. And in 2019, after over a century of theories pointing towards their existence, a black hole was finally caught on camera. The Event Horizon Telescope, an international collaboration made up of 8 radio telescopes from around the world, revealed a black hole larger than our own solar system at the heart of the Messier 87 galaxy over 50 million light-years away. This image is the end result of over a decade of effort, and is an accomplishment that many once believed to be impossible, even within the scientific community. Number 19, pushing the limits of reproduction. While reproductive science can be a very controversial area of research, there are also so many potential benefits from greater knowledge. In 2016, a child was conceived not from 2 adults, but 3. The sperm came from a man, while an egg's nucleus and another egg were from 2 separate women. The purpose? To circumvent the mother's neurological disorder called Lee syndrome, which had claimed the lives of 2 previous children. Elsewhere, scientists have laid the groundwork to create human sperm and eggs from nothing but blood and skin cells. Last but not least, 2019 saw the successful cloning of macaque monkeys using the Dolly method. Number 18, progress towards artificial brains. It's long been featured in works of science fiction, but soon it could become a reality. In 2014, IBM unveiled True North, a computer chip consisting of 4,096 processor cores that emulates the human brain's approach to encoding and managing information. Though it's just a stepping stone, True North already has potential real-world applications, with progress in predicting seizures. In 2016, IBM once again outdid itself when it unveiled artificial phase change neurons. And the company shows no signs of slowing down, especially with ever more competition entering the field. The development of a new superconducting switch in 2018, which essentially works as an artificial synapse, brings us another step closer to the creation of some forms of artificial brains. Number 17, the first rhesus monkey clone.
Why it's important to work with the rhesus macaques is because these are the type of non-human primate that's most often used in research. And so we have a lot of information about them in other respects.
In 2020, the world was introduced to Retro, the first ever rhesus monkey clone. While the technology to clone him isn't necessarily revolutionary, his life marks a groundbreaking milestone in science. Scientists achieved Retro's creation using somatic cell nuclear transfer. This method is similar to that used for cloning Dolly the sheep decades ago. But rhesus monkeys share significant genetic similarity to humans. This technique's success in primates opens up new avenues for studying complex human diseases.
The ultimate, but still elusive goal, is to use cloning technology to create healthy tissues which can be transplanted to heal damaged cells and organs.
Cloned monkeys could provide consistent models for conditions like Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, and cancer. Additionally, Retro's cloning could accelerate research in regenerative medicine. Scientists may develop new therapies using cloned cells. While ethically sensitive, the achievement offers a promising future for understanding and treating genetic diseases.
Having genetically different animals in an experiment always complicates things. So the idea was to have genetically identical rhesus macaques that you could then use in a variety of experiments to look at things which might be applied to humans.
Number 16, interstellar advances. Though this decade has been notably lacking in terms of manned space flights, beyond the International Space Station, it's nonetheless broadened our spatial horizons in a big way. 2012 saw Voyager 1 traverse the heliosphere to provide unprecedented data from beyond our solar system. This was followed by Voyager 2 in 2018, which, having more of its instruments intact when it crossed the heliopause, the outer perimeter of the heliosphere, gave scientists even more to consider when it comes to magnetic fields, plasma, and solar winds. This decade also saw the identification of the fascinating interstellar object hurtling through our solar system, dubbed Oumuamua. Number 15, the rise of elastocalorics.
Our method describes the influence of material properties and process control on the cooling power and the efficiency of the cooling process. The findings enable the development of optimized elastocaloric cooling processes, which are the basis for the design of efficient cooling devices.
As global temperatures climb, cooling needs are set to skyrocket in every country on Earth. Enter elastocaloric technology. Elastocalorics are a green, efficient alternative to traditional cooling methods. Unlike conventional air conditioning, elastocaloric heat pumps use no refrigerants, gases which can currently harm the environment.
The most common refrigerants contain hydrofluorocarbons. These gases are thousands of times more potent than carbon dioxide when released into the atmosphere.
Instead, they rely on metals like nickel and titanium that absorb and release heat through motion. This innovative process utilizes basic physics and could represent massive cuts in energy use. Elastocaloric cooling technology holds enormous potential. Developing nations and rural areas could have an accessible, sustainable way to stay cool without electricity. Research is rapidly advancing. With increased commercial interest, elastocaloric heat pumps may soon become standard equipment. Number 14, new targeted gene therapy. Around the world at this very moment, countless scientists are hard at work trying to find solutions to the various diseases and conditions that plague us as a species. Cures are few, far between, and hard-fought. But in 2017, the FDA approved something truly miraculous: a treatment for the form of hereditary blindness known as Leber congenital amaurosis. It's a degenerative condition, and so the best results to date have been observed in younger patients, but with just a single gene therapy injection directly into the retina of each eye, the majority of patients see noticeable improvements. Number 13, animal discoveries. As this past decade has reminded us, while space is undeniably captivating, we've still got plenty to learn about our planet's co-inhabitants. The decade saw the discovery of everything from a bright purple crab to a microchameleon. And in 2013, we met the olingito, the first newly discovered carnivorous mammal in the Western Hemisphere in roughly 35 years. In 2015, biofluorescence was observed in hawksbill sea turtles, making them the first known reptile with bioluminescence. Perhaps most fascinating, however, was the 2019 revelation that Visayan warty pigs use tools and have a great name. More specifically, they pick up pieces of bark or sticks and use it to dig nests for themselves. How cool is that? Number 12, synthetic DNA. DNA governs pretty much everything about life. Think of it as the recipe or blueprint for all living things. Though we've been obsessed with DNA for decades, the last decade has seen the scientific community making unprecedented leaps forward in all things DNA related. And with the creation of synthetic DNA, this research just got way more exciting. DNA naturally consists of 4 nucleotide molecules labeled A, G, C, and T. But a 2017 study showed that it was possible to introduce 4 new letters to create 8-letter DNA, which has been dubbed Hachimoji DNA. In short, science has added new building blocks into the mix. This proves that life can function beyond the 4 bases naturally occurring on Earth, opening the door to big discussions about the nature of life. Number 11, external wombs. Much time, money, and energy goes into research that seeks to extend our lives or improve human health. But this decade has also seen a serious push to develop viable alternatives in the form of artificial replacement body parts. A 3D printed tibia bone was successfully surgically implanted in a patient in 2017, and organs don't seem very far behind. One of the most uniquely compelling man-made technologies that's been developed over the last decade is the artificial womb. In 2017, researchers were able to successfully develop a lamb in a biobag, and it's believed the technology can be used to save babies born prematurely. Number 10, discovering the building blocks of life beyond Earth. Much to the disappointment of alien enthusiasts, another decade has come and gone without the discovery of intelligent extraterrestrial life. Be that as it may, various off-planet findings did provide ample cause to hope. Comet 67P Churyumov-Gerasimenko, probed by the European Space Agency's Rosetta spacecraft, was found to have the essential building blocks of life, including amino acids. This has caused much speculation about the origins of life on Earth, and that crucial initial material may have originated elsewhere. Furthermore, NASA confirmed the presence of organic compounds in the water vapors of Saturn's moon Enceladus, which has further bolstered the hypothesis that life could exist below the planet's icy crust in the liquid ocean below. Number 9, combating major diseases. There are few viruses more infamous than Ebola. When there's an outbreak, the effects are deadly and devastating, especially when the local people have inadequate access to medical treatment. In 2015, however, a field trial of a vaccine was hugely successful. In 2019, the vaccine was officially approved in Europe, with the American Food and Drug Administration soon following suit in mid-December of the same year. The Ebola vaccine wasn't the only breakthrough of its kind, however. We also saw the rollout of a malaria vaccine that performed well in trial applications, as well as major improvements in HIV prevention and treatment both in America and around the world. Number 8, rocket science. NASA gets a lot of flack for not doing more manned missions to space, but the simple reality is the numbers don't add up. Well, at least not with the current tech. The cost of sending people into space and getting them home safely is astronomical. SpaceX, however, has developed reusable rockets that will hopefully make space travel far more affordable heading into the next decade. In December of 2015, after a few failed attempts, SpaceX achieved its goal by successfully landing the craft in an upright position. In 2017, they achieved another milestone by reusing a recovered orbital-class rocket booster. And with the launch of the Crew Dragon ship in 2019, commercial space travel looks set to become a reality sooner rather than later. Number 7, dating some of the world's oldest art. These cave drawings might not set new standards for realism, but when you consider their age, they are certainly mind-blowing. Discovered in the Maros caves on the Indonesian island of Sulawesi decades ago, these works of ancient art have finally been properly dated, as having been produced nearly 40,000 years ago, and can now be counted among the oldest known works of art found anywhere on Earth. Much of the images have been worn away by the passage of time, but rough outlines of hands and animal illustrations remain. In terms of age, they're rivaled only by the Chauvet cave paintings of southern France discovered in 1994. and their identification forces us to reevaluate the history of human development in relation to representational art around the world. Number 6. Restoring brain cells.
I found it amazing that they're actually creating working neurons in Petri dishes.
Neuroscientists have known for 20 years that neurogenesis, or the repair of brain cells, is theoretically possible. The brain has a supply of stem cells that it can use to repair tissue. More recently, though, a study published in Nature found another limited form of brain repair. Patients with Timothy syndrome, a genetic disorder that affects neurons, were treated with a drug regimen. Those drugs allowed neurons to develop as they would in a normal brain.
You add new neurons into the brain, you have the ability to learn a completely different language, you have the ability to learn how to play violin, but it's also possible that maybe you could forget who your wife was.
This discovery presents scientists with a new path of possibility for treating other genetic disorders. In theory, similar treatments could be possible for schizophrenia, epilepsy, ADHD, and other neurodevelopmental disorders.
In preclinical trials, the cells not only survived, but matured into the target neuron type. These repaired the damaged brain in about a month. Before this, transplanted cells were known to have poor survival rates in the brain.
Number 5. The beginning of the CRISPR era. As previously discussed, this decade has been an especially exciting one for anyone interested in DNA. Not only did researchers manage to create synthetic DNA, but with the CRISPR-Cas9 system, a tool can effectively be used to edit DNA. We're just beginning to explore possible applications, but in theory, there are too many to count. In 2018, twins in China were illegally and unethically genetically modified as embryos to attempt to make them immune to HIV. But possibilities include disease resistance, reverse engineering extinct species, cures to various genetic illnesses, and the ability to create more durable crops. For those who look to works of science fiction as a roadmap to the future, CRISPR is being heralded as the key to mastering humanity's genetic destiny. Number 4. Kepler 452b. Our search for life beyond planet Earth has taken on many forms, but arguably the most promising approach has been in identifying potentially habitable planets, those with Earth-like characteristics that could theoretically have given rise to intelligent life. Throughout the decade, we've found thousands of new exoplanets beyond our solar system. But arguably the most exciting is Kepler 452b, which is arguably the closest to an Earth twin discovered to date. It's been said that if we could reach it, which is unlikely with 1,400 light-years separating us, life there would be possible. Though, given the extreme gravity, colonists living there would experience notable physiological changes over time, including changes in bone strength. Number 3. Detecting the first gravitational waves. Like black holes, gravitational waves have been the subject of much theorization dating back over a century. But it wasn't until 2015 that their existence was finally confirmed. Gravitational waves are ripples caused by the movement of objects with sufficient mass through space. And that's exactly what the LIGO and Virgo observatories in America and Europe were able to observe directly for the first time, following what has been identified as the distant collision of two black holes. What does this mean? Well, for starters, it's the long overdue confirmation of an element of Einstein's theory of relativity that even Einstein himself doubted. More importantly, however, gravitational waves are a measurable force that allows us to explore and understand previously unfathomable depths of space. Number 2. Monkey communication.
Recently, researchers monitored the calls of baby marmosets from birth to 2 months.
Marmoset monkeys are some of the smallest primates on Earth. In 2024, researchers at Hebrew University made a startling discovery about these cute little guys. They are creatures of complex social structure with individual identities. They recorded communications between groups of marmosets. When analyzing the vocalizations, the researchers realized that some of these calls were used to label each other.
Using parental interaction experiments, their study shows that baby marmoset vocal development is influenced by parental feedback.
To put it in layman's terms, marmoset monkeys have names. It is the first time that scientists have recorded this behavior outside of humans, elephants, and dolphins. This discovery may force humans to rethink the level of intelligence in other primates. Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. The rise of artificial intelligence. Once, not so long ago, we spoke of artificial intelligence as if it were a concept limited to the distant future and works of science fiction. But in reality, we're already living in the age of AI. In 2016, the Google AI program AlphaGo, which is part of DeepMind, bested the world champion of Go in 4 out of 5 matches. It's a testament to the very real potential of computer learning, not to mention the superior processing power of artificial intelligence compared to the human brain. And this is by no means a one-off.
Watson, what is Sauron? Sauron is right, and...
Over the past decade, various AI programs have been beating some of the world's top players in a variety of games, including poker, Jeopardy, and even StarCraft 2. Are you a big ol' nerd? Are you plugged into the scientific community? Blind us with your science and let us know your favorite breakthroughs from the last decade below. Check out these other clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.